Hello children and welcome to today's session. Children, nature abounds in resources and these resources support life on earth, any form of life for that matter. But sometimes certain phenomena take place in nature which are beyond human control. And these phenomena may actually lead to a lot of disaster. So today in this class in chapter number 16, we are going to study about wind, thunderstorms and cyclones. As I just said, the activities and phenomena in nature which are beyond human control like earthquakes, floods, droughts, cyclones, landslides, forest fires, etc. may cause a lot of damage. What are these called? These are known as natural disasters. So in this chapter, we are going to learn about disasters caused by thunderstorms, cyclones and even tornadoes. But before that, let us understand the basic concepts because of which all these disasters take place. First, let us understand the difference between air and atmospheric pressure. So we all are aware that the earth is surrounded by a layer of air. This layer is known as atmosphere. Very important to understand that air has weight and it exerts pressure on the earth. What is this pressure called? This pressure is called atmospheric pressure. Now, when this air present around us begins to move, it is known as wind. Now, in the hot summer months, this wind is very pleasing. But when the speed of the wind increases, what happens? Storms happen. And these storms are not very happy thing to happen. They cause a lot of destruction, uprooting of trees, damage of properties like huts and poor household establishments. Now, we have to understand what causes this wind. One thing we definitely know that solids, liquids and gases are made up of molecules. These molecules in liquids and gases are free flowing, and in gases they are very free flowing because they are spaced at a very large distance. So this is the first reason what causes wind, that air does not stay still for a long time because the molecules of air are loose and they drift away easily. The next important thing that happens which causes wind is the uneven heating of the earth. So children, we know that the earth is round and the earth does not receive the sun rays at the same level at all places. So what is happening? Let us understand. The uneven heating on the earth generates wind currents. The uneven heating between the equator and the poles of the earth produces winds. The hottest part of the earth are the regions close to the equator as they receive direct rays of the sun. Thus, the air above the equatorial regions gets heated and becomes warm and rises, creating an area of low pressure. The cooler, denser air from the tropical belts blow towards the equator to take the place of warm, rising air. These winds are called trade winds. The hot air that rises from the equator gets cooled and becomes heavy. It comes down near the latitudes near the equator and blow towards the cold region. These winds that blow towards these latitudes are called westerlies. The uneven heating of land and water causes wind currents. During the summer, the land near the equator gets heated faster than the water in the oceans. Thus, the temperature of land is higher than that of the water in the oceans. The air over the land gets heated and rises, creating a low pressure area. The cooler winds blow from above the oceans towards the land. These winds that blow from the oceans towards the land in summer are called summer monsoon winds. The monsoon winds which blow from the Arabian Sea and Bay of Bengal bring heavy rains in most parts of India. In winters, winds blow from land towards oceans. The land cools down much faster than the water in the oceans. The temperature of water in the sea is higher than that of land. The air above the water gets heated and rises, thus creating a low pressure. The cooler winds from above the land rushes towards the ocean. Their winds are called winter monsoon. The winter monsoon do not cause much rainfall. It picks up moisture as it blows over the Bay of Bengal and brings rain to the coastal Tamil Nadu. So out of these two videos that we have just watched, we have learned some basic concepts. We have learned that air expands on heating. We can even prove this with the help of an activity. So you take a balloon, press it so that it is flat and there is no air inside it. Tie the mouth of the balloon to that empty bottle with the help of a rubber band. Now what are we doing? We are placing that empty bottle with the rubber band on it in a hot bath of water. Gradually, what will you observe? You will observe that the balloon begins to expand. Why? Because the bottle is getting heated, the air inside the water is getting heated, the air is expanding inside the bottle and the balloon. That is why the balloon is also expanding. Another thing that we learn here is that hot air is lighter than cold air. And whatever is lighter will rise up. Whatever is heavier will come down. So here is another experiment that can prove that hot air is lighter and it will rise up. So you draw a spiral on a piece of paper like this and you cut it out. Now you're holding that spiral piece of paper tied to a little ruler or a piece of wood and you hold it above a lighted candle. What will happen? The spiral is actually going to move. Why is it moving? Because the hot air around the candle flame is making the air is lighter. And this lighter air is moving up. That is why with that air current, the spiral is also moving. The third important thing to understand here is that pressure decreases with increase in temperature. Children, let us again understand the composition of air. So we know that the air is made up of very loosely placed molecules. Now, if all these molecules are the way they are right now, the air is going to be dense. When the air is going to be dense, what is going to be the pressure? Pressure is equal to more. Now, suppose I begin to heat this air. What is going to happen? The molecules are going to move away from each other. So, the same number of molecules will be somewhat like this. Now, when the molecules move away from each other, what happens to the air? It becomes less dense. When it becomes less dense, it is less powerful. And when it is less powerful, it is going to exert less pressure. That is why pressure decreases with increase in temperature. Children, the first phenomena that we are going to understand based on the concepts that we have just learned is thunderstorm. Thunderstorm is a happening of countries like India where the temperature is hot and humid. So we know that a storm that is accompanied by lightning and loud thunders is known as a thunderstorm. Let us quickly understand what happens in a thunderstorm. The first thing that is happening here is the air is getting warm. It is absorbing a lot of moisture because the sun is hot and water is constantly evaporating. So this warm air will rise up. Now when it rises up, what is the temperature above? It is cooler. So what is going to happen to the water vapor? It is going to cool and turn into ice crystals. Now these ice crystals, second thing that is happening, when these ice crystals are being formed, what are they losing? They are losing heat. Now when they are losing heat, the air again is getting warmer. So what happens next? It further warms up the air and it moves with much more speed. Meanwhile, the water particles rub against each other. They build up a negative electric charge inside the cloud. Now, how does the cloud get rid of this negative electric charge? By lightning. Now, when lightning occurs, it releases a lot of electricity and hence a lot of heat. The air suddenly becomes very hot and the air explodes. With what sound? It explodes with a thunder sound. So, this is how thunderstorms and lightning take place. Now, when such a thing is happening around you, what are the precautions that you must take? So, if you're in water, you must quickly get out of it, because if the lightning strikes water, water becomes a conductor of electricity and you can get a shock. Do not take shelter under a big tree. Why? Because high-rise buildings will be attacked by lightning very fast. Do not stand erect or flat on the ground. Always crouch so that you are a tiny object. Do not take shelter under an umbrella with a metallic rod. Again, why? Because it becomes a conductor of electricity. Do not sit near a window, open garage, storage sheds with tin roof. Again, good conductors of electricity. The best place to take shelter is a bus or car, because if lightning strikes also, the rubber tires will quickly absorb and transfer the charge to the earth. So children, this was about thunderstorms. Another natural disaster that takes place on similar lines is known as cyclones, also known as hurricanes or typhoons. How do they occur? Let us understand. A huge revolving storm caused by very high-speed winds blowing around a central area of low pressure zone over the ocean is called a cyclone. The center of a cyclone is a calm area that has very low air pressure and is called the eye of the cyclone. Very high-speed winds move in circles around the eye. The surface of the ocean water gets warmed by the sun. This causes the air above it to also get warmed. This causes a low pressure area. The moist air from the ocean surface begins to rise rapidly, creating a strong upward wind that rotates spirally. The warm and moist air rises high in the atmosphere and gets cooled. The water vapor present in it condenses to form thunderclouds. When water vapor condenses, it releases heat and warms up all the air around. This warm air rises into higher atmosphere, causing a low pressure. More air rushes to the center of the storm and the cycle is repeated. This results in the formation of a very low pressure system with very high speed winds revolving around it. A cyclone, on being formed, moves over the surface of the ocean. As the cyclone reaches the land, the supply of warm and moist air gradually stops and the cyclone dies down. Another phenomena with similar process takes place on land, and it is known as a tornado. A tornado is also a huge spiral of wind that travels from the ground to the sky. Sometimes this tornado may also become a part of a cyclone. Just imagine how devastating it will get. Now children, we have learned the natural disasters. Now let's read some of the effective safety measures. So the steps taken by the government for cyclone warning are broadcasting. See, cyclones cannot be predicted. They can only be informed well in time through satellite images. They can tell us that the cyclone is building up. They can tell us an approximate time when it will hit land, and we know that hitting the land, it dies down, but it causes a lot of flood. So people have to be taken to a higher ground away from the coastal areas. So the government continuously broadcasts information which will be hourly or half hourly depending on the intensity of the cyclone. Then they will give you at least 48 hours warning that the cyclone is about to hit. So you should move to where? Cyclone shelters. Now, there are many radars that have been set up by Government of India to keep a very close eye on cyclones. Children, action on the part of people living in coastal areas. So when you know that a cyclone is about to hit, what should you do? You should make necessary arrangement to shift your animals, household goods, vehicles, etc. as early as possible. Then you should keep the emergency numbers of fire brigade, police, etc. ready with you. Do not venture into the sea if you're a fisherman. Do not drive if the roads are flooded. It can cause serious accidents. Now, the precautions for cyclone hit areas are cooperate with your fellow friends, neighbors. Do not pressure rescue workers who are already doing their best. Do not drink water from just about anywhere because this water is contaminated. You should avoid venturing into flood waters because there are snakes on the loose. Also, during flooded times, do not touch electric poles, fallen wires, or wet switches. You can get an electric shock. So, children, this was about natural disasters. We've learned about the process that leads to these natural disasters, the warnings that the government issues, and the precautions that we need to take. Time for you to attempt the questions at the back. Thank you.